All right. This is a presentation on Lotte Reiniger. So she was a German film director and animator who preceded Walt Disney. She was born on June 2nd, 1899 in Berlin, and she died June 19th of 1981. In Berlin, she studied at, I'm probably going to butcher this, but Charlottenburger Waldschule in Berlin, where she learned and fell in love with Scherenschnitt, I guess, which is a German art of paper cutting. She also fell in love with theater and silhouette puppetry. These childhood loves that she discovered would become her life's work. So her career and contributions, she made films all the way from 1919 to 1979, so a full 60 years, so a while. And her most well-known film is The Adventures of Prince Ahmed, a film based on Hannah Diab's 1001 Nights, and which I believe also turned into or brought to light Arabian Nights, which then prompted Disney to make Aladdin. Um, Now, naturally, since she was using paper cutouts, she found her puppets in animation looking very flat and two-dimensional, lacking a sense of depth and space. So, to solve that problem, she invented the multiplane technique, a technique where the silhouettes were placed and moved along horizontal planes of glass, stacked on top of each other, with the camera above them looking down. This technique would later inspire the development of the multiplane camera at Walt Disney Studios, and this method one could argue that it's still being used today, like very commonly in the form of like the layer tabs and features in digital art and animation softwares. Her style of animation, which I kind of touched on already, but she was known for a distinctively different style of animation, using paper cutouts to form silhouettes. During the 1920s and 30s, it was exceedingly common for emotions to be, well, I mean, at all times, but especially here, it was very noteworthy, hence Popeye. It was exceedingly common for emotions to be portrayed via facial expressions, but she used silhouettes in her work, so there weren't really faces. You could get a profile, but you couldn't really get a sense for eyes or anything like that. Instead, she used gestures and body language to portray emotions, as well as obviously the sound, but that's a little different from animation. It's part of the filmmaking process, but it's not animation. She was able to make these animations, made with paper cutouts, fluid, and was able to portray emotions through gestures that could not be portrayed by simple facial expressions. It was an innovative process in stop motion animation to use physical puppets instead of hand drawn characters, to not only prioritize body language over facial expressions, but to focus on body languages entirely altogether. Her films were like heavily advanced in intricate shadow puppet shows, and it gave a very special and unique style and feel to her pieces. And that is it. Of how I would like this, how I would like my work to maybe be influenced by what I've learned here. I do like silhouettes. I would like to use some. Um, Maybe I like the crafty sorts of art styles. I'm not sure if we'd get to advanced enough stuff in this class for me to do that kind of stuff in this class specifically, but at some point I would like to do certain things like that as well. But um, I definitely do want to get into facial expressions are nice, but body language I think is a really hard part of animation. I mean, so are facial expressions, but and I want to focus more on body language than facial expressions. Um, I I just would like to how do I describe this? I would it's this actually. I don't want to use only, well, except for maybe when I'm using silhouettes on occasion, but I don't want to focus on only body language, but I do want to prioritize working on body language over working on facial expressions, because if you want to portray something with a facial expression, you can really exaggerate a face to make an expression really easily, or pretty easily. It might not be like a realistic, true to life like way that someone would look, but um, you can do it. But you can't. I mean, you can exaggerate body language, but not too much. It's the one that I think would be a bit more challenging potentially, and I would like to focus on that one more heavily. Um, I do believe that that is it. Yep, that's it.